Right, here I'm going to replace the batteries in what was originally supplied by Fine Scale Engineering, one of these little LNER lamps. You screw the top down and the light is supposed to come on. Obviously in this case it isn't. So we need to get at the batteries, and what happens is, how this is assembled, you've basically got a body that goes over the other body and they come apart like that. If you look at the bottom of the lamp, you'll see there's a line there and a line there, and if you look carefully you can see how the one half is slid over the other. So what you normally have to find is, you sometimes have to find, I'm using a very fine Stanley blade, and sometimes you have to score very carefully down all the paint lines all the way around where you can see. And at this point, it doesn't matter, even if you sort of prise that open a little bit, it doesn't matter at all. It can be a bit tight. Yeah, I've got that in there like so. Okay, blade can be a bit tight to come out. And what we're going to do, what I normally use, I use a bit of bar to the top. A drill would do, just to hold it, just to get a bit of purchase. And I'm going to hold the lamp that way, and we're going to pull it apart. You've got to be careful that you don't lose any parts. There's a little plastic piece inside which helps with the switch mechanism. So we're going to hold it firmly and we're going to pull. It can be a bit tight, and there we are, to come apart. And sure enough, there's the little plastic piece there. And that little plastic piece sits in the top, and it's a bit tricky to assemble, but it obviously can be done. And you'll find two batteries inside there. They will slide out from one side. Normally, these were actually sellotaped together. I find you don't really need to do that, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to push them out. There we are. And what we need to do is clean this lower surface up here. So I tend to use, I've got a scalpel blade here, and I'll just give it a bit of a scrape to clean any debris off. And also you'll see the LED top connector here. The LED don't come out that easily, so I'm just going to very gently scrape the underneath of that. And there we are. And the batteries that are used are 379s, Rayovac 379s, or as it says here, SR521SWs. They're very small hearing aid batteries. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, we have the two new batteries, and I must emphasize here, dispose of the old ones sensibly. Do not leave them lying around. They are highly toxic, and children can swallow them, animals can swallow them, so dispose of the old ones responsibly. Anyway, so we're going to make a little tower. The larger metal part there is the positive. That will go down to the bottom, and we're going to put one that way up, and we're going to put the other one on top. And we'll take our two little batteries, and we're going to slide them in to the side of the little lamp here. So we have that sort of arrangement, as we can see. Okay. The next bit is quite tricky. What you can do to test it, by the way, now, if you press down on this, the little tab on the top, you should see the LED light. You might not be able to see it on the video, but yeah, you can see it lighting up. So we know that's okay. The method of switching is very crude. It's a dry joint. And what happens is that little plastic cap goes in there, and it sits on top of the battery terminal there. And as you screw down the little top, it presses that down and makes contact and pushes the connector together. Now, the easiest way of doing this, I've found, is with the battery, with the lamp component parts like this, with that little bit out, I'm going to slide this over the top. I'm going to leave enough gap at the top so we can just drop that little plastic piece in. So I'm just going to slide that down. You can hold it with both hands, however you want to do it, really. The batteries will fit in there. So we've got this sort of arrangement. Okay, I need to open it up a little bit more, but this is just to give you an example. So I'm just going to open up a smidgen more. Here we go. And just enough so I can get that little plastic piece in there, which it is, and it's dropped down on top. Just make sure it's flat, which I can see. And then we're going to press that together. Press it really firmly together. And if I screw the little terminal down, we can see the light comes on and off. So it's worked okay. What I tend to do now is with a bit of white paint, white enamel, just fill in those little gaps a little bit, just with a very fine brush, and that will seal things up and it will stop the lamp coming apart. I hope that's been of some use. Thank you very much for watching.